So let's go ahead and start off in the scene grid again. We're going to go down to the smoke folder inside of our particles, and we'll start working on our first type of smoke. The first one we're going to do is just your standard smoke that kind of comes in a billowing form going upwards. And we'll use a little bit more of a darker cloud. So for instance with this one, it's going to be a little bit darker around the edges so that when it actually does get into the scene, instead of being a bright white puffy cloud, it'll be look more like it's had a tar fire type of feel to it. Alright, so with those inside the scene, let's go ahead and go to our hierarchy on the create and go down to our particle system again. Let's go ahead and zero out the particle placement on the position 0, 0, 0. While we're up here, let's go ahead and change out the name. We'll just call this one smoke_1. And let's go down to our render rollout at the bottom, and let's replace it with the cloud black for the material. So material type should say cloud black on it. Alright, so we have our image coming across right here. Now let's go ahead and start working over the details, get things working in right so that the overall shape starts working for us. So up at the top, we have our duration currently at 5. We'll go ahead and again, we'll just put it at 1. The looping, we'll go ahead and keep this one on for now. Don't worry about a pre-warming on it. We actually want it to start where it comes up for the first time. The start speed, at the moment, we have a start speed that's kind of fast. We're going to turn this one to 0, and we're going to let the forces actually push the image up instead of being the start speed. Alright, the start time, currently our start time, we have a single one. We want to turn this one to a double one. So we're going to do the random between two constants. And for the size itself, let's go for about a 2 and go for about a 4. There we go. So we'll have some big pieces and small pieces going up. The start lifetime, actually, we've got a lifetime starting 5, but really, instead of being every one of them ending at the exact same time, let's go ahead and change that one. We'll do a 2 constant on it. We'll do one from, say, for instance, like 5 to 10. That way we'll have some pieces that go up for a while and then some go a little bit higher than the other ones. Oh, let's make sure we do this one back to 5 again. So the lifetime 5 to 10. The speed on this one's 0. The size is 2 to 4. On our rotation, let's go ahead and do this one like we've done some other ones. We'll do the random between two constants, and we'll allow it to have a pick on the rotation from 0 to 360. So it'll constantly be coming up anywhere between that full circle range. The start color we'll leave it white, but the alpha, let's go ahead and take the alpha pretty far down. We're not really interested in seeing that whole texture like in a solid format. We just want to see kind of a just the feeling, like when you look at the edge of it, if it feels like you're just seeing a little bit of it, then that's a good focus on trying to see smoke and fumes coming out. Alright, on the gravity, now we could actually take the gravity and start forcing it upwards like this, but we don't want to do so much where the gravity is just like pushing it up like that. What we want to do is just a little bit of gravity onto it. So I'm going to try a 0.02, maybe a 0.025, yeah, somewhere around there. This is a good amount because what we're getting is a nice dark color here, and then as it gets up to about that height right there, it starts to pop out and go away. And we'll fix the popping here in a little bit. We don't want to have it actually popping. We want to have it where it's fading out as it gets up to the top. The simulation space, it just all depends on how you're wanting to work it. For instance, for us, we could do world that way. You could tie this to a vehicle driving around. You could tie it to a character that has smoke or is on fire, or something that's interesting that's on fire or smoky, and you could place it on there and have it moving around with them. I'll go ahead and put mine back at 0, 0. Alright, so we've got our world simulation space on. Our max particles, you could do 1,000, but even in this scenario you probably just need like 500, maybe even 200 for the max limit on it. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to our emissions, and we're currently setting it at 10, but we need a little bit thicker. So if you go for about 20, maybe even 30, 30 looks like it's probably going to be a little bit better. If you notice when you rotate around, you're kind of getting that nice solid, thick, smoky middle part, and then it kind of puffs around from it, so that'll probably be a good amount right there. Alright, so the shape we currently have is the cone. Let's go ahead and do a little bit extra to the cone. For instance, like on the angle right now we have, it was 20, we'll go for about a 30. The radius though, we don't want a wide bottom part to it. We're trying to make it feel like it's small at the base and then it grows larger at the top. So how about we set this to a 0.1. There we go. So 0.1, this would probably be a good, like just kind of looking at it from the base of it. That's kind of a nice, good amount right there. Okay. And then the, let's see, we got our 0.1 for the radius. We have a 30 on there. We're emitting from the base. That's good. We'll go ahead and roll those up. Give us a little more room up here to see. So the next thing we want to do is go down to our force, because since we don't have gravity and we're doing like a 0.025 of gravity, then we want to actually use force to lift it upwards. So lifting it upwards, if we go for a 1 right here, let's see, and if you notice lifting it up too much right there, we don't want to go too high, but we do want a little bit of a force. Let's try going a little, we'll actually go a little bit smaller here. So start high, see where it goes, and then break it down from there. That actually looks pretty good. That's giving just enough extra force to it. Kind of build it up. Alright. So we're just doing a little bit of force on that side of it. And then you can also, if you're wanting to, for instance, have it blowing in the wind, then you could do a force like this, where if all of a sudden you needed it to be even animated, you could have it where it animates over, and you're going to start getting your pieces going across, and you could do world. That way, as you animate it, you're actually getting to keep the things going. Alright. So for now, though, we're just sticking with the straight up piece. Oh, make sure we're actually getting, since we changed to world, we'll do this one at 0.1. There we go. Alright, so we have our force going up. We can set them left and right if we need to set them left and right. The other option now is the color over lifetime. Let's go ahead and kind of fix this real quick. If you click on the gradient color picker option, the very top, as you can see, is popping, so we want to fix that, but we also want to kind of change how even the bottom's working for us. To start with, let's add a little bit of a color here. Like right now it's just all black, but let's add a little bit of color into the whole mix. So I'm going to left click on this bottom bar right here and create a little color picker arrow, and then go to click on the color option. Let's actually choose more of a brownish tint, something probably, let's see, looks like it might kind of work around there. So we'll go, for me it's going to be about a 92, 91, 78.